Welcome to the Complete Story series where we take trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. We then read them dramatically back to you, giving you a pseudo-comic motion movie, allowing you to understand what's happening in your favorite comic books so that you can go out and buy the next issue and know what's happening. But sadly, this is the ending of Injustice 2. This is the grand finale. Injustice 2, annual number 2. We get to see a different side of our favorite heroes. We get to see how they interact. We get to see what is going on now that everything is done. Injustice 2 has been an incredible ride. And with everything that has happened, Bruce takes a moment to work on the Brother Eye system. As he sits down under the computer going through the connection, Selina asks if he's going to stay under there all day. He tells her, well, Brother Eye is a glitch. And Selina asks if it's an actual glitch or are you just looking to do something after, well, Alfred left. Bruce rolls out from under the computer telling her that it's a real glitch. I just can't figure out what's causing it. And she laughs, telling him, oh, that's good, because you wouldn't want your all-seeing, all-knowing AI to not be working properly. Regardless, you should get some outside help on this. You can't fix everything. Just say the word and I can track. Bruce stops her and tells her, no. Alfred made me promise to not go looking for him, and I will respect his decision. Selina sighs, telling him, okay, but hopefully something disastrous will happen that needs your immediate attention so you can stop fussing with that computer. Just then, Brother Eye announces that there's an issue at the prison. Someone is trying to get to Superman's cell. Bruce asks, what are we dealing with? How many? And Brother Eye tells him that there are 4 advanced androids that appear to have advanced strength, the ability to levitate, and offensive laser capabilities. Also, there's a woman with a pie. A few moments later, outside of Superman's prison, Martha Kent stands there, holding a pie. She says, hello, Bruce. And Bruce tells her, I'm sorry, but no one sees Clark. Martha then asks, despite everything that's happened, do you really think that there's any chance Clark would harm his mother? Bruce tells her, no, but you still can't. She walks past him, telling him, I don't really care how many supervillains you've stood in the way of. You will not stand in my way. You don't get to control everything, young man. As Martha continues to walk, Selina heads inside with Martha, asking if there's any way that she can teach her how to talk to him like that. And while the two of them leave, Jonathan Kent leans out of the window of his truck as the 4 Eradicators set it down, stating, don't feel bad. There's no stopping her. Sometimes the immovable object meets the unstoppable force, and the immovable object has some sense and takes a little step to the side. Bruce asks, you're not going to go inside with her? And Jonathan tells him, no. Bruce says, I understand. But Jonathan reaches over to the passenger side, opening the door, telling him, I doubt it. Get in. Bruce tells him, I'm sorry, but there's other things that require my... Jonathan looks back at Bruce and he tells him, get in the damn car. We're going to get a drink. But for this to make more sense to you, we need to go back 8 years to the Wayne Refugee Fundraiser in Gotham. Bruce was meeting with different individuals in Gotham when he spots Selina among the crowd. He tells her that he didn't see her name on the guest list, and Selina says that he mustn't be very observant. She whispers to him, not here, on the roof. But before they could leave, Bruce is shot in the shoulder. She catches him and she sets him down, and Bruce tells her, the shot came from up southwest window, go! She tears her dress off, throwing her heels, and runs to the stairs. She jumps out the window to follow the shooter. And just as Deadshot gets ready to pull out his rifle, Selina jumps on him, sending him to the ground. Deadshot starts to get up, asking, what the hell? I'm not sure what you're up to, but I try to only kill the people that I'm paid to kill. He then takes out a high-voltage stun gun, shocking the water, electrocuting Selina as she stands barefoot in the puddle. A short while later in Metropolis, Lois runs into Clark's office and begins closing the blinds so that no one can see. Clark tells her a newly married couple closing the blinds on an entire newsroom isn't exactly going to go unnoticed when these people are professionally suspicious. Lois turns back and says that she's got word. Bruce Wayne's been shot. He's currently in surgery in Gotham Central. Clark starts to ask what about, and Lois kisses him as she takes off his glasses, telling him, go. Seconds later, in Bruce's hospital room, Clark climbs through the window and asks Nightwing how's he doing. Bruce speaks for him, telling him, it doesn't really suit Superman to come in through the window in the dead of the night. Nightwing says that he's just frustrated. He's gonna blame it on the morphine. Bruce then leans back, stating, it's not the morphine. I trained to function normally through painkillers. And Clark laughs, stating, of course you have. He takes Bruce's hand and he says, you gave us a real scare. But for a moment, Bruce hesitates and he smiles back, stating, I'm okay. Really. As Selina and Alfred come in, Clark asks Nightwing how safe is he, and Nightwing says that Oracle has gotten everyone set up in the surrounding buildings and streets. Clark asks what seems to be the motive, and Alfred tells him that Master Wayne has been receiving death threats over his refugee charity. And Selina adds, which he kept secret. She goes on stating that the shooter was Deadshot. Assuming Bruce was wearing a vest underneath, he aimed for the shoulder and the armpit. Deadshot is expensive, so whoever wanted Bruce dead was willing to pay top dollar. They're not going to stop until they do. Bruce asks, you don't think that I could take care of myself? And Clark says, Batman could take care of himself, but Bruce Wayne is as mortal as anyone else. He thinks on it and he says, we need to bring Bruce somewhere that's more remote, safe. Selina asks, like the Batcave? And Clark smiles, no, more like a fortress. A short while later, over in Smallville, Clark introduces Bruce, Selina, and Alfred to Jonathan and Martha, and the two of them welcome them into their home. Jonathan reaches out to grab the suitcases from Alfred, stating that he can take care of that, and Alfred tells him that he can manage. Martha then says that they have a spare room set up for Alfred, but she's not sure about the other sleeping arrangement. Clark's room is ready, but it might be a little snug if there's two of them. Not that that ever appeared to be an issue for Clark's friend Lana, as she used to sleep in after dark. Clark shouts, Ma! And Selina tries to hold back her laugh. A few days later, over in Metropolis, Clark lands on the roof of the Daily Planet asking Lois what she's learned. Lois tells him that it's a white supremacist cell of Intergang with a sizable war chest. They were very happy about Bruce's charity events. Clark asks why would they do this, and Lois says because they're Nazis. They don't want people who look different from them coming into our country. Clark sighs, stating, I will never understand them. And Lois smiles, stating she knows. That's one of the many reasons that she keeps him around. She almost has enough to bring down Intergang, but their hit squad will still be operating independently if we take out the organizers. We have to flush them out. Back in Smallville, Bruce steps out onto the porch of Jonathan. Jonathan says, there's no stars like this in Gotham. Can't sleep? Bruce tells him, I tend to sleep strange hours. And Jonathan says, I'm a bit of a night owl myself. My father worked nights. Maybe it's genetic. How about yours? Bruce tells him that he doesn't have a father. He died. Jonathan then asks, who was that man trying to stop us from taking our bags then? You've got it, Dad. You're just bad at letting it go. Bruce says that he appreciates them allowing him to stay. And Jonathan tells him, it's not the first time that Clark's brought hurt things here. All kinds of critters. Dogs, birds, frogs, bats. Bruce looks at Jonathan, telling him, he told you. And Jonathan says, Clark? Absolutely not. The boy would take a secret to the grave. He's as loyal as they come. He just doesn't have very many friends that we don't know about. Not friends that he would bring to the house, that is. We just put two and two together. Clark would have mentioned if he was friends with Bruce Wayne, but he talks about Batman all the time. Honestly, Clark may be able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, but he believes that Batman can walk on water. I shouldn't be saying this, but I'd take a guess that Batman is Clark's hero. 2 weeks later, back in Gotham, Bruce sits in the limo, and Alfred says that he really has to question this method. Is he just going to drive him around, brooding, waiting until they attack? Bruce tells him, I'm pretty sure it won't take them that long to strike, if it makes you feel better. And Alfred says, no, that's hardly comforting, sir. A few seconds later, Diablo jumps out in front of the limo and blows it up. Bruce coughs as he gets up, and Deadshot points his gun down, telling him, I'm not going to screw it up from here. Just then there's a loud bang, and Batman appears behind them, telling Deadshot that he's right where he wanted him. There's a quiet tink as the bullet falls, and Deadshot looks back at Bruce, asking, what the? Bruce pulls open his shirt, revealing an S, and the two heroes get to work. A little while later, on top of the Daily Planet, Clark says that Amanda Waller personally took the group into custody. And Lois says that that's it then. Intergang's operation will be done once she publishes everything that she's got. It's pretty expensive too. Business leaders, a few politicians. Bruce asks, who are they? Lois tells him, as long as you've got a subscription to the Daily Planet, you can read about it in the morning. Bruce shakes Clark's hand and he says, thank you, both of you, I won't forget this. Now, we go back to the current day, and the doors to Clark's cell opens up, and he asks, Ma? She sets the pie down as she hugs her son, telling him, it's okay, you can hug me back, you can't hurt me. As Martha wipes her eyes, Clark sits down asking, how is it out there? And Martha says that it's getting along okay without him, but she's sure that if he would come to his senses, he'll need his help one day. Clark then asks, Pa? And Martha says that she knows his father. He's arguing with a billionaire about who's about to buy the drinks. And over in a small bar, Bruce says, trillionaire actually. Jonathan takes off his jacket, telling him, good for you, it's still my round. Alfred asked me and Martha to take care of you. As Jonathan hands Bruce his beer, he leans back and he says, I always go here for a very frank and honest conversation. I'm betting Batman doesn't get a lot of hard truth directed his way. It's a lot of combination of running into the shadows when he doesn't like something and intimidating everyone else. Martha and me raised the most powerful man in the world. We used to have to set boundaries for a teenager that could turn a mountain into dust. Batman doesn't scare me. So how's it going? And be honest. Bruce tells him, it's been difficult, trying to save the world from itself without... And Jonathan finishes, without overstepping, without resorting to what Clark did. Did he come to you? And Bruce asks, after Lois? Yes. Jonathan then asks, did he ask for help? And Bruce says, in a way. Jonathan says, right. But you didn't help him. Bruce tells him, he murdered someone in cold blood, and what he's done since. But Jonathan stops him, telling him, I'm not talking about what he's done after. I'm talking about what happened that day. Bruce tells him again, he took a life. And Jonathan tells him, yes, men should be punished for the wrong that they do. I'm as stubborn and prideful as anyone, but I'm not condoning what Clark did. But this isn't about what's right and wrong. It's about holding an impossible man to an impossible standard. Clark is as human as anyone else. He doesn't need forgiveness. He just needs his friend to understand. Clark is far gone, but you may need to set aside your grievances one day. Bruce asks, could he? And Jonathan tells him, I'm as disappointed and angry at Clark as anyone else, but the town that he came from was too small for grudges. When it's all said and done, I'm not so sure the planet's that much bigger. When your parents are killed, in that moment, if you had a chance, would you have killed the murderer? Bruce tells him, I was a child. And Jonathan says, they're all children. Later, back in the prison, Bruce stands in front of Clark's cell and Clark asks, do you do the silent treatment with everyone that you put away? No wonder most go mad. Bruce doesn't respond and Clark asks, is the world better with me in here? Has it gotten better? Bruce tells him, we're free. And then Clark says, has that freedom come with less death, less war, less conflict? And Bruce doesn't answer, and Clark says, I'll take that as a no. After a few moments, Bruce takes off his mask, and he tells him, I don't think I ever said, I'm sorry, about Lois. Clark stares for a moment, and then he grits his teeth, telling him, don't. But Bruce goes on, I'm sorry that I wasn't there. I should have been better. I can't say for certain that the world is better with you in there, but I do know that it would have been a better place if Lois was a part of it. And with that, Bruce puts on the mask, and he leaves. It is concluded. There's no more Injustice 2. We are done with this storyline, and we ended it with one thing that I don't believe we've ever gotten before, an apology from Batman. Now, we know that there's going to be more to this storyline. We know that there's a lot of unanswered questions. What about the Legion of Superheroes? What about Connor Kent? What about Cassie? What about the daughter of Batman that I can never pronounce? What about all of them? Well, these questions will most likely be answered in a continuation, as Injustice is still one of the highest selling digital books out there. So I don't see them completely ending it. But as of right now, we have no word on Injustice 3. So if you want to know the moment that Injustice 3 is announced and is happening, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, because that's when we'll tell you the storyline and stuff like that. Also, let me know in the comments down below, now that it is completely concluded, what did you think about Injustice 2 as a whole? Did you like the storyline? Do you think it added a lot? Personally, I felt that it was crazier and more out there than the first Injustice. And as much as I love the first Injustice, I feel that we had a Red Lantern Starro, guys. How amazing is that? So make sure you subscribe, give this video a like, and check out the whole rest of the series if you forgot what happened, because a lot happened, guys. I'll see you next time.